Hello, my dear students. From Value Education, we are going to see lesson number 7, interacting with others. Interacting, talking, or having conversation with others. Now, see, we need to deal with others every day. It's not that it's easier to spend your life alone, but every day you need to deal or to talk to other peoples. We have to interact with people at home, with family members, at school with your friends, and also at social gatherings in a social functions. In fact, dealing with people is a continuous phenomenon. It's a continuous process that every day you have to interact with the people. While going to school, you have to deal with the bus conductor. While shopping, you have to talk to the salesperson. During the recess, you have to deal with the classmates as well as seniors also. This is your everyday routine. You must be observing this. We are familiar with many people, but with some people we interact only once in a while. We know many of the people, but we do not talk to them very oftenly. Sometimes only we talk to them. For example, you know your real brother and sister very well. You may would not know your cousin who comes to stay with you for a couple of days from another city also. This is a difference. Then, whether an interaction is short or long, it is important to ensure that we behave and deal with everyone appropriately. Whatever is the situation, but we need to interact with the people. Each one of us has a different personality, as every individual is different. See, people around us have different personalities. Some factors which determine our personality, they are account of the following, like different likes and dislikes. Everyone has their own likings and dislikes. Some people are fond of games, but some are not. Different sensitivity levels. Some are very emotional, some are very strong. Some people can take criticism or being corrected in a positive manner, while some get very annoyed if somebody tries to criticize you. There are many people, sometimes they takes it very positively and they change themselves according to it, but some people, they finds it very annoying. They gets very angry with this. Different temperament and nature. Different types of people and with their nature. If you observe, some friends or classmates are very cool and some of them lose their temper very fast. They get angry fast. Some are aggressive and outspoken, whereas some are very quiet and shy. In class only, if you will observe that some of your friends are very aggressive. With a small taunt of a classmate also, they get very angry and they are not at all outspoken. And but some are very quiet. Whatever the people says, they just ignore it and they are very quiet because they are of shy nature. This is the difference between each of the individual. Some are very sensitive and they get upset very soon. We behave in different ways because of our inherent nature, which is also known as temperaments. This is all because of our temperament. Different beliefs. Now we believe in different things. Everybody has different thinkings. Each person has a different way of looking at things. Everybody looks differently to the situations, and the way he or she looks at things are conditioned by that person's beliefs. This happens because we come from different regions, different backgrounds, different cultures, and different homes. Any of the situations that we face in our life, everybody has their own point of view to look towards you. This is because they comes from different regions, different backgrounds, and different family members, upbringings, and all. So different educational and intellectual levels. This matters a lot because when you speak to an educated and a well informed person, you have to strike a conversation which will make sense to him or her. Likewise, if you speak to a class 3 child, you have to speak on the things that interest the child. Means you should have a sense to whom what the things to be shared. If you're talking to a small class 3 child, then you have to see his interest, that in what things he is interested, and that only you have to speak on the point. You cannot just talk to him anything. What are the best ways to deal with others? Now, to able to deal with different people effectively, we should try to understand their personality or mindset. Then it becomes easier to engage with them at a level which is of comfort to them. For instance, if you know that a classmate does not like being joked about, then it is best not to joke with him. If you do, they if you still do it, you are bound to pick up a fight with that friend. Keep in mind the following aspects while dealing with others. You have to behave according to their choices, means you should know the person before talking. Then you can develop emotional sensitivity. If your friend is very sensitive by nature, or he or she gets very upset very easily, then it is best to keep this in mind while interacting with him or her. A simple understanding of the other person's nature is very important for your friendship and to keep good relations with it. Then listening to the other's point of view. Even you should always have a habit of listening to others, not only to put up your views. Many times while dealing with our friends, we do not listen to their point of view. Just as people have different personalities and beliefs, they also have different views about the different things. So it is a positive quality to listen and consider other people's point of view also. This also requires self control and empathy for others. If you can control yourself, only then you can develop the habit of listening to others point of view. Even putting yourself in others shoes means you have to put yourself in their situation and think from their side. While dealing with a person, try to put yourself in that person's place and try to feel what he or she would have felt at that situation. This will give a very good idea about how to react in a particular situation with a particular person. Remember, all five fingers of your hand are not at all equal. So everybody has different problems in their life. We cannot judge anybody on their things. Then presentation of the message. Once Emperor Akbar dreamt that he had lost all his teeth. This Emperor Akbar had a dream that he had lost all his teeth. He called an experienced astrologer to interpret his dream. Means he wanted to know the meaning of his dream, so he called up very experienced astrologers who can tell you the future also. The astrologer said the dream means that all of your majesty's relatives will die before you. Means all the other members of your family, they may die before you. So Akbar was very upset and sent the astrologer to jail. The Akbar did not like the meaning of the dream that was being suggested by the astrologer, and he got very upset with this, and he sent that astrologer to the jail. A few days later, Akbar called for Birbal, and we know that Birbal was very wise, his favorite minister, who was also famed for his wit, means for his intelligence. The emperor asked the minister to interpret the dream, and this is how the minister interpreted. The emperor would live a longer, healthier, and more fulfilled life than any of his relatives. Birbal got a huge reward of his interpretation. This was the interpretation or the telling of the meaning to the Emperor Akbar. What we learn from this, that anecdote, is this: the way a message is conveyed makes the difference between being accepted well or rejected are rightly. The way we string our words matter. The meaning was same, but the words the Birbal chosen to tell him the meaning was little different. So it depends on an individual. How do you convince a message to the people? We see a difference here, that the astrologer was being sent to the jail, and here the Birbal was being rewarded nicely for giving the meaning or for giving the interpretation of the Emperor Akbar's dream. Now, what is diplomacy? Diplomacy is defined as the art of dealing with people in a sensitive and tactful way. Now, this is a way that you handle the sensitive and the people of the different natures tactfully. It is also means dealing with politeness, prudence, delicacy, and thoughtfulness. It is a good to develop that the art of diplomacy to deal with people effectively and appropriately. Now, learning to appreciate others means even we should appreciate others also. How do you feel when your parents or your friends appreciate you for a job done well? Means you can think for this situation. And how do you feel when you get a prize in sports or for doing well in exams? In both cases you would feel good. In a similar way, everybody feels good when he or she is being praised for their well work. So getting praised or appreciated is what everybody looks for. So it is therefore important to appreciate or praise a person if the person has done something good. So always, if you will find somebody doing good, always you should praise them or appreciate their work. See, if your friend has won a prize for a sports event, you must come forward and congratulate him or her for the achievement. If your friend or your teacher has done something for you, then you must appreciate the deed and thank them. Remember, saying thank you costs nothing, but it pays rich dividends in terms of good relationship. If you will appreciate them on the time, then it's going to obviously make a big difference in their life. Now build a pleasing personality. Now, would you like to spend a day or even an hour with a friend who always criticizes you? You can imagine this, who is rude to you and is arrogant in his or her behavior. Neither would anyone want to spend their time with you if you do not have a pleasant personality. If you are not good with your personality, nobody likes to spend their times with you. Yes, they would rather keep their distance from you, and they will like to be away from you. To be polite, friendly and helpful are simple qualities which will fetch you many good friends. Such to be polite, to be helpful, to be friendly nature with your friends, that will give you more friends in your life. It will also help in retaining friends, that will keep all your friends for a lifelong. People who are well behaved with a pleasing personalities, they are always respected by the others, because everybody wants to be a friend of a well behaved person. Now don't talk behind a person's back. म्हणजे त्यांच्या पाठीमागे आपण कधीच बोलू नाही. टॉकिंग बिहाइंड अ पर्सन्स बॅक इज वन ऑफ द वर्स्ट हॅबिट. when you talk ill of someone behind his or her back, it amounts to backbiting. If you have to say something, you must always say it in front of the person. त्याच्या पाठीमागे कधीच बोलायचं नाही. जे काही आपल्या मनात असेल त्याच्याबद्दल, ते आपण त्याच्या समोर तोंडावरच बोललं पाहिजे. नेवर बिहाइंड or his or her back. To give the person a chance to defend his or her case. Whatever doubt you have, you speak it in front of the person so that the person can defend herself or himself. If you indulge in backbiting, you would lose credibility among your circle of friends also. Means nobody will trust you. Now be a trustworthy friend. You must behave in such a manner that you are seen as a dependable person. For example, if you have borrowed class notes from a friend with a promise that you would return the notes by Sunday evening, then make sure that you return the notes well on time without your friend having to remind you. If somebody has to remind you about a promise which you could not keep, then in future nobody will trust you and even stop lending you anything. So being prompt, being on time and doing things in an appropriate manner are signs of a trustworthy and a dependable person. If the teacher has given you a project, then make sure you finish and submit it on time. This is applicable to any task that is expected of you. Okay, so from the example we learn that how we should be a trustworthy friend. Whatever we speak, we have to keep our words and we have to follow. Then only people trust you in your life and they can be dependable on you. Now develop a helpful nature. If your friend is in trouble, don't wait for him or her to ask you for help. Volunteer to help. If you know that your person is in trouble, so don't wait for his approach. You should help him. This is one sure way of making friends. If you help your friend today, tomorrow he or she will help you when you are in need. It's obvious that if you will understand that friend's problem and if you will help him, and in future obviously he is going to help you in back. Now do's of social competence means what we can do. Have a helping attitude. Always we should have this. If you are wrong, learn to say sorry. One sorry can help in preventing major fights. Learn to take criticism. Wait out your words before you speak so that you don't hurt anyone's feelings. Before you speak, you think. If somebody is nice, always acknowledge it, means you appreciate them. Now, which are the don'ts that we have to follow in this social competence? Like, avoid criticizing others, don't hurt others feelings, never insult a person or be rude to them, always be respectful to everyone. If you will do this, I hope everybody will have good friends of circle in their life for a long time. So I hope you like the lesson. So read it carefully and listen to the video carefully, and we will try to find out the exercise given at the back of the lesson. Thank you.